I feel like we're in a great era for shortstops. I mean, guys can hit, they can run, they can field. Like when I grew up, all they could pretty much do was play defense, and you were happy with that. Now you got to do everything, and you got to hit at the top of the lineup, and it's awesome. So what we're going to do, I figure since I've got a major league starting shortstop here, we each have come up with our top 5 shortstops in the game.
Okay, number 5, I got Carlos Correa. It's tough. It's this list right here. I'm gonna tell you guys all the shortstops that are gonna be watching and seeing this. It's nothing against anybody. It's just a list that I put together.
No, we know that. Listen, you get on this side of the mic, man, you're gonna hurt some feelings, and
I know.
But there's so many good ones. So tell me why Correa at 5.
So Carlos Correa 5 because I think it's really, really solid all around. Defensively, one of the best because he can secure the ball. If you've seen the last couple years of Correa, errors are really, really low. And that's what I'm looking for in a shortstop,
So I've got as my number 5 guy, somebody in your division, Trey Turner.
Trey Turner.
Yeah, and I love him. I think he can do a lot. And, you'd have to tell me how great a glove guy he is. But last year, he had a 982 OPS. He stayed healthy. I know it was a shortened season, but we know the guy can run. We know he's got some pop. I'll be very curious to see what sort of contract. Really, the only, way I can ding him is that he hasn't been healthy throughout his career. He's had some weird injuries. Remember the bunt a few years ago where he broke the finger and all that sort of stuff. So he's had some strange stuff happen with him. But I think he's a top 5 talent.
And remember, he plays center field for a full year,
Right.
That's another thing. This guy's just been proving that he can get better every single year.
Yeah.
And play against him is so hard to defend. Like you're saying, it's fast. He can hit the ball out of the ballpark. Really good player overall. Yeah.
Who do you have as number 4?
He didn't make my list, but this probably shocked a lot of people. But I'm gonna go number 4 is Fernando Tatis Jr.
Well, you have him all the way down at 4.
Yeah, I was gonna feel pretty bad if he was gonna be just a top 3, because I didn't have him on my top 3 because the 3 guys that I have on the top are guys who done a lot of things before. The only thing that kind of hurts Tatis at this moment is that he have just one full year in the big leagues. And I'm one of the guys that what you done for me is important. And these 3 guys in the bottom have done more things.
But if we're doing this list a year from now, it wouldn't shock you if he was number 1.
No. Yeah, that's 100%. And I agree with you. And I mean, I got nothing against what Tatis can do. The only thing is at this moment, I think he needs to prove a little bit more to be number 1. But okay. he could have been number 1.
No, that's fair. For me at number 4, and I really need you to pay attention here, I've got a combo. It's Javi Anderson and Tim Baez. I have combined the 2 Chicago shortstops.
Okay, and number 4 is the Chicago shortstop.
Yeah, because I can't figure out, Anderson has been so good at the plate the last 2 seasons. So good. And Baez had that runner-up finish in the MVP in 2018. And then his numbers took maybe a tick of a hit in 2019. And then last year, it looked like he had never played baseball. I don't know what was going on. I don't know if it's because he's worried about the contract situation or there was something else. He's one of my favorite players to watch play. I love watching him.
Number 3, I have one of your guys that you got on the number 4. I think Javi Baez. I'm a big fan of Javi, not just because what he can do defensively, but offensively, I think he's a force. I know he got a down year last year. Offensively, he can do so many things, but Javi is a guy who's gonna win you a game in so many different ways. He make plays when it matters. The only problem about Javi with me is that sometimes he throw balls away because he want to be flashy, and he makes spectacular plays. But Javi, I put it at shortstop every single time on my team because he's gonna go and make those plays whenever it counts.
Yeah, no, give me a guy that's always going to field the routine grounder too. That because big, you give a team a 4th out and it can blow up. That's a good point.
Exactly.
For me, I put Tatis as number 3, and I'm just a huge fan. We've already talked about him. the 2 times his rookie year where he tagged up on pop-ups to the infield. I've never seen that. I am a huge baseball fan. I was like, I've never seen that. And then I saw it twice from him in a year. I was like, that's the dude. So I'm excited to see where he takes off from here. I love the contract extension. We've already talked about that on the Chris Rose rotation.
My number 2 is Trevor Story. I think Story been doing so many good things since his rookie year. First thing when he did it as a rookie after Tulo, those are really, really big shoes to fill. When you have a Troy Tulowitzki on your team and you have to fill that role, it's amazing what Story have been doing. I know he's in Colorado and the homers and the power numbers and the OPS are huge, but this guy can fill his position. He can steal bases. He could have been an MVP candidate, I think he haven't, just because he's in Colorado under the shadows of Nolan. Let's see what's going to happen this year.
For me, number 2, and people saw it last year because of the postseason run, but I live in Los Angeles, so I've watched Corey Seager now for a few years. Usually I'm hesitant again because I'm an availability guy. Like, you've got to be there, and he's had some injuries over the years. But he does have a couple of top 10 MVP finishes. We saw what a difference maker he is in that lineup when he is on, right? I mean, he was so locked in October. And I just feel like those injuries are behind him. At least I hope so, because I just love watching great players play, and I think he is a great player.
And one thing that I agree with you is the way that he played the game. He's so calm. He's one of the players like Anthony Rendon, You see Anthony Rendon and you don't see Tony like go, like so crazy or go out of his approach. That's Corey Seager, I used to call him the prospect when I was with the Dodgers, I call him prospect for like a full year. We didn't play together. I was playing in AAA. He was playing in high A at the time, but I got the opportunity to be with him around in spring training. Really, really cool guy. And a guy that is always like calm and under control. That's why he's able to do a lot of things.
Nice. All right. Number 1.
There's just one guy, and you know who it is. And I know you pick him too, because you're a big fan, other than that he's the best right now at shortstop. And he's kind of underrated,
Lindor is underrated?
I think so, because he should have get more attention. I don't know how he didn't win the Gold Glove last year.
Yeah, he made one error.
It's unbelievable. Francisco Lindor is, for me, is the best shortstop in baseball right now.
What impresses you about his game the most?
For me, is the ability that he have to like bring a lot of people together. This is something that is not on the stats. Being a leader like Francisco Lindor is, for his teammates, for the team, for the Players Association, for everybody around in baseball, is the way that he carry about himself that is really impressive. We know he can hit 30 homers. We know he can hit first, third. But the thing is, the way that he go about his business, his preparation. You always see him outside. You always see Francisco Lindor saying hi to people. That's what impressed me the most about him. It's a complete package. It's not just a player that he goes out there and play a really good shortstop and he's a good hitter. But he's gonna do so many things for you in an organization. And I think the Mets got a really good one.
No, they didn't get a really good one. They got a great one. And it broke my heart the day he was traded. And I've said this before on the Chris Rose rotation, that he's the best player I've seen in my lifetime wear an Indians uniform. And they had some great players in the mid-90s and early 2000s. He is the best combination of offense, defense, and just there. You know how there's certain guys that walk in a room and all of a sudden all eyes shift to that person.
And you know what, Chris? It's natural. It's real.
Right.
It's not fake.